I'm just gonna start from the top.
It's a not so natural world. Animals and people trying to live in harmony. The not so natural world. We gotta start sharing. We gotta start caring.
Observe the Coragyps atratus, also known by its common name, the black vulture. If you were one of these black vultures, you would think that the Bull Shoals Dam here in northern Arkansas is a perfect place to hang out. Can you see behind me pretty good if there's a car coming? The Bull Shoals Dam here was completed in 1951, but the black vultures first started being reported here in 2012. Now, why did they wait 60 years to show up at such a perfect hangout? Scientists still aren't sure, but their range is expanding northward as their population explodes. And local officials have counted up to 1,600 in the wintertime and believe there's a year-round population of almost 300 birds. And these birds are nature's cleanup crew. They not only eat the dead waste that would be littering the roadsides and stuff like that, but their stomach acid can actually destroy pathogens like anthrax, E. coli, rabies, any of the dangerous diseases that humans don't want to come into contact with. And they don't kill live animals, despite, well, that's a whole nother thing. Okay, so these black vultures are actually nature's cleaning crew. Okay. I think it's called a syrinx in birds, but they don't have the equivalent of vocal cords, so the only sound that they make is like kind of a grunting, hissing noise. So, even when there's 100 and something birds up here, totally silent. The black vultures are actually not as great at hunting as their relatives, the turkey vultures, which have one of the keenest senses of smell of any birds or really any animals. The black vultures depend on their eyesight, but also on following turkey vultures and the smarter of the black vultures. Especially when they're in flight, their feet just look hilarious. It's like... So roost sites like this are really important as family groups gather, and scientists aren't sure exactly how, but they communicate to one another where to find food. There's also safety in numbers, although really the only predators that these things have are pink bears like us. For more on the story, we go to Chauncey, the black vulture. Unfortunately, the Army Corps of Engineers is having quite a time with the damage that these birds are bringing to this important infrastructure. One of the curious behaviors of these birds is their propensity for pecking and destroying rubber things, much like the roof and gaskets found on this dam, and also automobiles. Some think that they could be strengthening their beaks and neck muscles by mimicking the actions that they use to tear apart rotting flesh. Others think that the birds are attracted to odd smells that are soaked into these porous surfaces, and others think that these birds are just stupid. The same adaptation that gives these birds the ability to eat rotting flesh also causes their waste to be one of the most caustic biologically produced substances. And when you have numbers of birds like this gathering on man-made structures, you've got a lot of bird waste to deal with. Oh, man. It turns out to be quite a chore to get rid of these birds. Here at the Bull Shoals Dam, they've tried everything from pyrotechnics and laser pointers to hanging effigies and scarecrows and even obtaining a permit to kill some of these birds. All to no avail. After a few days, they get used to the sound, they get used to the sight, and they just come right back. And so far, the best thing that scientists can come up with is just covering things and move this way or look this way. Oh, gotcha. Okay. So the idea is they are here because it's perfect. It's not perfect because they're tearing it up. We need them, but we need to figure out... Okay. What? Okay. Check out this sweet rig. There are still many unanswered questions about these birds and their behavior, but one of the most important is, where does their territory end and ours begin? And how can we learn to live alongside one another? honestly, they're one of my favorite animals. I'm really excited when I get to see them. I know a lot of people are grossed out by them, but it's just an example of how nature doesn't really stop. The birds come and land on our things, and we build things where the birds used to land, and it all kind of overlaps. And we have to learn or figure out how we can make it easier on each other. I mean, we can't shoot all the buzzards. They don't know that what they're doing is wrong. We just have to figure out some way to live in the whole world like these birds do. I don't know.
It's a not so
Freestyle.
natural world. Animals and people trying to live in harmony. The not so natural world. We gotta start sharing. We gotta start caring.